Hello Pilar, welcome to the Heliosphere.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you. Your work is very much related to accessibility. So how does that work? Like how?
Okay, let's try this one to start with. What we do is we try to create any media accessible for everybody in an inclusive way. That is that the same content should be accessible as much as possible for everybody, not to have exclusive. A blind person shouldn't have to have a special channel to watch this. And they should watch this interview because it's very interesting. So the thing is that you integrate accessibility as much as you can in whatever we're doing. So for example, this video has subtitles, so they tell you what we are speaking. But this video, we should also have an audio description. And I'm going to give you an audio description. Okay. An audio description is when you describe what's happening or who is there and what is there. In an interview, it's very boring because it's always two people talking. So I think a good audio description would be just if we describe each other. So I'm going to describe you. Kevin is a young this is a very difficult thing. You don't have to say if it is white or if it is what is it? So anyway, he is from Ireland. He hasn't got much hair on the top of his head. He's got a very beautiful blue glasses, a fantastic smile, crooked teeth, and a really nice short beard, sort of very cool short beard, and a fantastic blue, sort of very intense blue top. Now you have to describe me.
So Pilar is, she's very charismatic, means she smiles a lot, and has a kind of a roundish face, which makes her smile even more magnetic. She wears very short hair, which is partly grey, white grey, and glasses often on top of her head. She has, I don't know the colour of the eyes, it's hard to see. Bluish maybe?
Same as you, I think.
Blue, green, something. Green? She's wearing a nice striped top with black, white and red stripes. She is, and she's sitting comfortably.
Perfect. The other thing missing would be, where are we?
Oh yes, in Thessaloniki.
So we are in Greece, we are in Thessaloniki, and it's a weird day, it's not very sunny. And it's a bit windy. But that's perfect. We've done this video accessible for the blind.
Perfect. Maybe we just continue on that topic because I have very little knowledge in that space, which is actually not good because it's not something I find accessibility, especially in social media, that is promoted a lot. So the only knowledge I have of accessibility is when designing applications in general, to consider certain guidelines for access. But if we think of social media, what are your thoughts around accessibility in social media applications?
It's crucial because social media in fact is something that people with disability use all the time. And not only people with disability, but if you think of, for example, newcomers, people who come from immigrants or refugees, in fact, is the only element that a refugee comes with is a mobile phone. Sometimes two mobile phones. So the idea that the content has to be accessible, different languages, different handwritings, or different writing systems. So all these and how you access that whatever is there is spoken. So first of all, anything that it is on social media should be accessible by the mobile phone itself, or by the services should make themselves accessible.
And do you think that there's something that can be done to make that easier? Like, or is it almost like when you're designing content or you're using a social media platform? Is it more like a personalization thing where a certain type of user, the platform knows the disability and then adapts the content or something?
What you're saying, it would be fantastic if the platform would understand your needs. Because either you've entered them already, or because they spot what are your preferences. But that would require a bit of intelligence that I think we are not there yet. But yes, for example, if you have YouTube. YouTube offers a fantastic array of services to consume the content. If we could have the same concept to any social media That would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Also, just in a broader context, obviously this kind of relates to your work in ethics and kind of this umbrella, and often I find ethics and privacy is confused or thrown together. So maybe just if we could just briefly talk about, from your point of view and reflecting social media, what's the fundamental differences of ethics and privacy, and how are they reflected in how we use social media?
The problem with privacy is one big chunk, and privacy, I think, is there to protect you. While ethics is to do with what they do once is after the privacy. So once they already suck for anything that you have, then what do they do with that? And then, of course, there is a huge need to protect you in both ways. And also, to me, it is an issue of trust that we never talk about.
Yeah.
But how can you trust whatever you're doing or whatever you are interacting? Because you may be thinking that you're interacting with someone and then you're not. Or you're interacting for something, and then something else is happening in the background.
Yeah.
So this trust, privacy, and ethics. Ethics is to make sure it's a sort of a higher level, to make sure that both trust and privacy are compliant. But to me it's fundamental, because otherwise I think Facebook is going down the drain. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of changes now. Like the strategy now that I've picked up online is that it is changing its main slogan, saying Facebook is going private, or promoting privacy, which is a different concept of privacy though. So that's why it's an interesting topic you hinted on, because Facebook's concept of privacy is private experiences. So such as like we know in WhatsApp groups. So you have a private experience in your living room with your friends, maybe in a pub. So it's private experience, but it's not privacy of data. Obviously, the company, which is justified, it's a company that makes their money with data. So the data is not private, but the experience. So sorry.
That's good. Now, a good thing would be that they would have subtitles.
And it's a
sneeze.
Yeah, but it's a snuff. It's not a sneeze, because it's a cough and a sneeze. It's a snuff.
Okay, that is a snuff. But that would be a very accessible content.
Snuff. But it's interesting that it's so confusing, because people would the way now Facebook is using the term privacy, but they're transparent in how they explain it. They explain it as an experience, but they never talk about data. Obviously, they're very clever with that. And then obviously the ethical question is, are they doing the right thing? But
are they doing the right thing, and are they
with the data?
With the data, exactly. And also are they doing the right thing in gathering the data? So of telling you how they are gathering the data, because it's not very clear how they do it either.
And what data, how it's used, transparency is
and
missing.
then you open the door for all sort of fake news and rubbish that is not true, and then I get very angry as well.
But how? I mean, this is a general topic, and just again to get your opinion. Like, what can we do? Because obviously there's strategies in getting policies or getting some kind of regulation. Then there's maybe user behavior changes. But obviously social media is an important tool for our daily life. I wouldn't want to miss it. So how can we potentially use it, but use it in the right way, maybe?
I think there is one issue to me that is basic, and is that you should be intelligent. You, well, me.
Too late.
But I know. But for example, I have young children, the basic things like you have to be careful, because there is perhaps yes, there is a lot that we can do with legislation and things with the companies. But I think there is something that we can do very simple at a personal level, at individual level, and that is to be intelligent and also think of the future. So
to be basically more education in how this is used.
To me, the basic thing is education.
It does. It's just interesting, and maybe just to as a kind of a final topic, two final topics. One is how. Just constantly for kids, there's constantly new social media apps coming in. Like the big one that everybody's using now is TikTok or whatever it is. Like a video, dance, copy me kind of app. So the education would have to be, or the intelligence that the next generation gets, would have to be in some way communicated broadly or conceptually, almost like part of universities and stuff. I guess that's the, because you can't just teach how to use an application.
I think to me the whole education system has to change. I mean, the rate of failure and the rate of is huge on the one hand. On the other hand, education has not changed. I'm 60, hasn't changed that much
Yeah.
on the content and on
Yeah.
the way it's delivered. While society is, I mean, if you were dead 60, if you wake up 60 years later, it's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
So exactly, this sort of education should be now be a core, but rather than the rivers of violence.
Yeah. Yeah, the salmon of knowledge. You know, like we
The
just eat the salmon of knowledge.
salmon of knowledge,
Like,
exactly. Exactly.
But just on a final note, and it's a question I like to ask, especially to someone like you working in that space, is like a potential future, optimistic social media future. If I were Santa Claus, or if I were the salmon of knowledge,
Salmon of knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's
If
go.
I could create this future, what would it be? Like, what would be a positive vision for you? How social media could be or should be?
To me, a fantastic future, because I'm going to be old very soon. It would be something that makes me less lonely.
Ah, nice.
Okay, and it's something that my children live across the globe. So it's something where I can see my grandchildren what they do.
Yeah.
So if I could tap, they went swimming today, or some sort of you have in a way you have a log of, and then I can tap in. They went there, they did that, they did the other. They like this, they don't like this.
You feel closer then. Yeah.
I would feel closer, but if I could break all this interaction, that is to me a huge stepping stone, because we can do this accessible. Yeah. But if nobody can click to see us, then that's the end of us.
Great. Okay. On that note, thank you very much. Shaking hands.
Shaking hands. That's it. Shaking hands.
Thank you.
Thank you.